FFSpod podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to For Fact's Sake.
The podcast where you take a random topic and Google the facts.
You guys have to say it. You're in the room.
They're all muted.
Oh, that's right. So you don't have to.
Yeah. This, if you don't know, is our live stream episode, which is for all our True Mother Factors, our $12 tier patrons. And the way this episode is going to work is today's topic is on alcohol. And in the chat box of this episode, people are going to chime in. They're going to have some comments, but also they're going to shoot their own facts. So everyone at home right now who's watching this episode in real time is going to be able to contribute to this episode. And we're going to have our facts. They might have theirs. We'll see how it goes. This is our first live stream for Fact's Sake. And if you want to be a part of the next one, go to patreon.com/FFSpodcast and be a part of the Mother Factin family. Wow.
Who came up with Mother Factor?
You did. You came up
I'm
with
sure
Mother
I
Factor.
did. We
You
should
did,
do
for
swear
sure.
words as an episode. Have you watched that on Netflix?
No. Is that one with Nicolas
That
Cage?
shit is so good. Yes.
Yo.
And I love how like they talk about bitch and how you could be like bitch or you could be like bitch. Like it's so true. Okay.
Nick Cage is starting to look like the wax figure of Nick Cage in LA. He's starting to look a little
Because
weird.
it's the Botox.
Bro, he's expressionless. Oh yeah. He's like, this is the worst day of my life. Nick, you all right? Yeah.
All right. We know you don't drink, but if you had to drink, what would be your pick?
This week's episode is about alcohol. Now, I'm not a drinker. I never was a drinker. Now, I remember my first drink was my dad gave me his beer, and I thought it was going to be, because I remember as a kid I liked root beer, and I thought, okay. And I was like 5 years old. I was like, this is great. This is like a
root beer.
And then my dad gave me a beer, and I remember I spit it out on the kitchen table, and then everyone laughed at me, and then I was shamed, and then I never drank again. That's not true. I had more beer after that, but I didn't like it after that. I don't know why. But if I had to drink, I would do. You can look at me and think I'm a vodka soda guy for sure. I'm definitely a vodka soda. Yeah.
You look like you love like 3 limes, please.
3. Are they organic limes? But I've had vodka water, which sucks. I mean, it's
like your safe drink.
Yeah.
So my drink of choice, this is not it. This is a matcha. My drink of choice is tequila, particularly like if I have to do it in the family, I like mezcal, but I'm a Casamigos girl because, you know, it's just, I've been to Mexico. So I just feel like as someone who's Mexican,
someone who has had Mexican food, this is the drink of choice. I will say that I do like a scotch here and there, and like maybe like sometimes I feel like I want to be like a man, you know, have like a scotch, be like
and move to Williamsburg too. You look like that type.
Be like crypto, and just like that's all I say.
I was just thinking too. What was I about to say? Oh, my first drink was vodka. It's because it's what my mother drinks. And I was sneaking and drinking it. She had a vodka party game in the closet, and she went away with her friends to Miami or something. And the babysitter was watching me and my best friend Sade. And Sade, I remember, was like, "No, we're not going to drink it. You know, your mom's going to know, blah, 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 blah." Anyway, so I got fucked up and I played this vodka party game. My mom did recognize how much was in there, right? Like she knew how much of her vodka was in there. And she told me I was never allowed to hang out with Sade again, even though Sade was not the one that pulled the game out. My mom had so much faith that I was a good girl. Even when I got arrested, my mom thought like it was like the police's fault.
Your mom was way off. Wow, she's a good girl. Where is she right now? I think she's at a Christian Bible study. Meanwhile, you're like dancing on a speaker, like licking your own tit. Like, I wonder what she's.
That is me.
I can't wait these to get bigger. I can't wait to buy them.
My mom, I did a prank call once with one of my friends as like the teacher, saying that I was smoking weed in class, right? My mom is on the phone. I swear to God, not my daughter. So I don't know who was smoking in your classroom, but not my child. And I was like, damn, you really don't know me, bitch.
Now, my dad used to make wine. My dad was like born and raised in Italy, and he came to North America when he was 30, and he actually made wine. He actually had the whole like big press. He would buy the grapes that came from Italy, and he would like press and drink the wine. And I never had it because I was never into wine. And then and he would give it to the neighbors. My dad would be like, "Hey, I bought you some wine," just like a nice
Yeah.
gesture, like, "Hey, sorry, my kid runs through your lawn, and here's some wine," or "Hey, thanks for shoveling the snow. Here's some wine." And then
Isn't it weird how like vegetables and fruit is alcohol?
yeah. So get this. So then my dad passed away in 2014, right? And then 5 years later after that, in 2019, I went back to my old neighborhood. So I was staying with my mom, and I saw one of my old neighbors. I go, hey. He goes, Eddie. I'm like, hey. We start shooting the breeze, and I go, your dad was a great guy. Oh, thanks. He used to give us wine every year. I go, yeah. Did you like it? He goes, didn't taste really good. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, cool. Well,
It was kind of Robitussin-y.
sorry, Dad. But anyway, let's talk about alcohol. What do you got in terms of what you found for the definition or kind of like explanation of alcohol?
Okay. So it's funny because when I typed in alcohol, literally like rubbing alcohol comes up, but there are 4 types of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know how to say them? No. Ethyl, denaturated, isopropyl, and rubbing. The one that we love and know the best is ethyl, also called ethanol or grain alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And you ferment sugar and yeast, and that's the kind that's used in wine, beer, and liquor.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind that gets you fucked up. Many countries have laws regulating the production, sale, and consumption.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting to me, because like when you just mentioned grapes, there are many different types of ways that you can make alcohol, right? One, you can do it with parsnip roots. You boil it and mix it with sugar and water. Cashew, apples. This sounds crazy, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Bananas. They make beer and homemade brew from bananas sometimes, which is even crazier. Potatoes for vodka.
Right.
Grapes for wine. And then aloe is used as like a bitter. And it's like an easier way to distill certain alcohol. But anyway, let's talk about my favorite part of every fucking show.
Let's do it.
Is sex and alcohol.
Go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. Finger in hand.
Okay. Ew. I just thought about that New Year's Eve party where the girl got fingered.
Oh, am I on the speaker? Remember that episode? I looked over. I'm like, yeah. Oh, she's moved on.
See what alcohol does? Now,
no.
Let's talk about people with vaginas and people with penises. If you have a vagina, alcohol has a different effect and range, right? So it can either increase sexual desire. It may boost like arousal. And you know how you're thinking like when you're drunk, you get horny, like some people say that. It's really just because the inhibition goes away. So it does nothing to your body. It's only your brain. It increases testosterone in women. So you know how like they say testosterone is like kind of how men don't give a fuck when they're fucking? Well, the male sex hormone plays a role in the sexual desire for women. And it's a factor in females reporting a looser sorry, not looser.
Yeah, don't use looser. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they're looser when they're like drunk.
Right.
Now,
well, that also applies again too. Yeah.
As far as sexual arousal, some females have they're too horny and some aren't horny at all. And the reason that can happen when you're not horny at all is because when you're aroused, your body prepares for intercourse by increasing blood flow to your genitals, causing them to swell and self-lubricate. Too much alcohol has a physiological response and interference with vaginal wetness. So you can most likely get dry puss when you're drinking, which actually happens to me.
Right. So you can be like, this drink goes down smooth, but nothing will go in smoothly. I got it.
Okay. Right. How long have you been waiting there?
I have that written down for about 2 months. Okay, go on.
And